Yes, loud and
Yes.
clear. I hope that I
Okay.
am also audible and visible.
Welcome, sir. Welcome, sir.
Just a
Dear
minute.
participants, welcome to the last day of online ATAL FDP Faculty Development Program, building the next wave of Indian startup with advanced computing technologies. Today we have three eminent speakers with us, Dr. Tanushyam Chattopadhyay, Mr. Abhik Ghosh, and Dr. Shanmitra Sarkar. The first lecture will be delivered by Dr. Tanushyam Chattopadhyay, AI scientist, AI Lab, Adani Enterprise Limited. Professor Saurabh Nag will moderate this session. I request Professor Saurabh Nag to moderate and introduce our esteemed speaker.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, esteemed participants, faculty members, distinguished guests. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to session 11 of our faculty development program on building the next wave of Indian startup for advanced computing technologies. Over the first few sessions, we have explored various aspects of entrepreneurship, innovations, and technology that are shaping the future of Indian startups. Today, we take a deep dive into one of the most critical pillars of startup success, which is data analytics and visualizations. Our distinguished speaker for this session is Dr. Tanushyam Chattopadhyay, a leader and an expert in the field of data analytics, artificial intelligence, and business intelligence. With a wealth of academic knowledge and industry experience, Dr. Chattopadhyay will provide invaluable insights into how startups can navigate the increasingly sophisticated artificial intelligence challenges they face today. Dr. Tanushyam Chattopadhyay is currently working as a head of industrial AI of AI Labs in Adani Enterprise Limited since November 2022 with a total experience of almost 21 and a half years. He graduated with physics honors as third in rank from Vishwabharati, a central university. He was awarded the University Gold Medal in MCA from Sipur IIEST in 2002. He started his career as researcher in Indian Statistical Institute, Kolkata, and later joined Tata Consultancy Services Limited as a principal scientist. Later, he was awarded with a PhD degree from Jadavpur University for the work done at ISI, Kolkata in 2012. He had training on speech signal processing from IISc Bangalore, image processing from IIT Kharagpur, and video processing from IIT Delhi. He, he has 75 plus patents granted across the globe as of today. He also authored a book and some book chapters. He has published nearly 70 plus papers in peer-reviewed journals and conferences. He is a member of the International Machine Learning Society, serving as a member of the Board of Studies of several academic institutions. He has delivered tutorials, keynote access addresses, and served as reviewer, technical program chair, and session chair in the number of international conferences and journals. He was awarded many awards in his academic and professional life. He is proficient in Python and C programming languages. His core area of research is diverse field of AI. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Dr. Tanushyam Chattopadhyay, sir. We are eager to learn from his expertise and we look forward to an enriching and thought-provoking session. Now I request to sir to say to start the session.
Thank you for the nice introduction. Let me start without wasting time because I have a hard stop at 3:30. So I'll initiate the question answer session at 3:15 to 3:20. Okay. And the entire session is that for the startups and other businesses. I mean, how can we take AI? This is the topic of today. So I just I divided my topic of discussion today in two major parts. First, implementation of AI for diverse businesses. So, what are the challenges? And not only the challenges, how can we get the solutions for to come out of these challenges? I never want to use the term problem or something. I say that it's the challenge, and if it is a challenge, definitely we can come out with some solutions. And the second part would be possibly from roughly at 350 or 345 to 350, something like that. I'll start discussing on some of the absolutely deployed use cases, whatever we have done as something has been deployed, um, and something what are and in POC has been completed. I'll show you some of such use cases. I believe that that is good for and quite interesting for you. And I'll try to show you some of the real use cases in the sense that where you can see that it's really deployed. If anyone is from Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Bihar, Assam, I don't know whether you any of you. So you know that in your state government is somehow using some of my product for their electricity supply. Okay, so I'll show you from their electricity supply absolutely going to their website and show you that how our solution is deployed there. Okay. So thanks for inviting me as a speaker. So dear participants, let me start. So there's a topic is that implementation of AI for diverse businesses. So first of all, let me try to give you the uh, idea that why business want, I mean, AI. The biggest question is that why business will take AI, because you have possibly seen that in 2025 two things will happen as per the prediction is that first in 2025 there will be not that much, I mean huge amount will be spent for the training of the on AI. And the second thing what will happen that it is realized that 100% people will never learn AI, so they will first identify that who can make the digital transformation and that amount will be spent. So why? I mean, say just think of any manufacturing industry or any product. Whenever I'm talking about any product, so what are the business benefits that AI can give? The first one is that you can see the business justification. First business justification is that increase growth and profit margin. Whenever you are thinking of be it startup, be it I mean small and medium, be it any mid-level or be it a very giant organization, whatever be the business house it is, the first question comes is that what is the business justification, or in Hindi इसमें धंधा क्या है. So first thing we need to establish that if you use AI, it will help you to increase growth and profit margin. That is absolutely most, I mean, more relevant for the field of startups, because what happens, you know, that large establishment have some buffer money or the money they can spend for some innovation and research, but they may not need not to go for the return on investment immediately. So you see that to increase the growth and profit margin, how it can happen? One way is definitely reduce the maintenance cost. Means let me go for a transmission line or transmission and distribution line business first. So what is meant by reduction of the maintenance cost? You know that there are lots of transmission towers. Everyone has seen definitely the high tension towers are there. So if somehow one of such transmission lines got damaged, it takes 2 to 3 days time to get it recovered. And by that time, huge area goes under darkness off because there will be no electricity during that time. Now, to make the turnaround, to make what I can say that to make it up, what they do, they usually periodically check the towers. So I know that the tower is in good condition or there is hardly any possibility, but still for preventive measure, I need to check it. I want to go for from transmission line business to another business, maybe for the electrical vehicle, because lots of startups are nowadays coming for their autonomous vehicles and EV battery. So there also, that the battery charging or something, that battery is lead and all this checkings happens periodic in nature. It is not per usage. So if we can identify that when the failure is going to happen properly, or some indications of failure is coming, then only if you can change it, it is meaningful. Now just think of the human psychology. Whenever we are thinking of our own body, do we regularly go for checkup? Unless and until I have lots of diseases, normally people doesn't go for a regular checkups. It is very hardly happens. Something happens, or um, I found that I have some sore throat, or maybe some throat ache is happening, or maybe maybe some problem is coming as I'm feeling some feverish. Then only I go to doctor, because it's some I can get some alert, and based on that I'm going for that. It reduces our cost to visit doctor. Similarly, cost to visit, cost of visit by a particular person, in terms of that, who is repairing it. If we can reduce it, it's reduction of the maintenance cost. How can we do it? One is the alert, and second one is the predict critical sensor values. Just think of a person with heart disease. We normally don't take him for dialysis regularly. We need to check his ECG and heart rate. On the other hand, for a kidney patient, we normally doesn't take him for ECG or the other treadmill tests, TMTs. What we do, we take him for dialysis or something. Similarly, critical sensor value for a particular machine varies from industry to industry. For transmission lines, it is something like the tower base, the tower parts, insulators, copper coupling, all these things we can check. For the business of, say, airports. For the airports, it is something that like that. Aeroplanes, the engine, aeroplanes, it has. What are the critical values like that? What is the condition of the wing? What is the condition of the engine? All these things we need to monitor, and we need to create alert beforehand. Second one is the reduction of the turnaround time. What is turnaround time? Just think of your own car. Whenever we see some issue with our car, we take it to a car servicing station. Now you see, if we can detect the problem, normally what happens, some sound comes. Or maybe who is driving, he can feel something that, something balancing issue is coming. Maybe some noise is coming. Maybe something like that, fuel is not giving up to the mark. So all these are indications of that some issue happens, and then only people normally take it to car service station. Now just think that suppose some car totally degraded and somehow it doesn't working, it start failure. Normally, Maruti Hyundai, we are common people normally uses in India, Maruti or Hyundai. It takes normally 24 to 48 hours to take your car. Take your car. Even sometimes it is 120 hours also. That means 5 days to repair the car. On the other hand, if we can take it a bit beforehand, they repair it, and within the same day, they normally deliver the car back to you. So, to reduce the turnaround time, we need to constantly monitor what is the health index, what is the remaining useful life, and if possible, what is the root cause of it. So, suppose whenever I'm taking a car to the service station, if I can tell that the problem is coming with the brake or the problem is coming with the wheel alignment, it takes even lesser time to repair the car than if I go and tell the person that yes, something happens, you please check what happens, because it takes his time to check that what is the exact problem. So these are the three, ultimate solutions, what we can, AI analytic solutions we can develop, which can help us to reduce the turnaround time. And coming from the other businesses also, just think of any other business, maybe banking, finance, and insurance. Okay, BFSI. So what happens that in case of the insurance sector, that the processing of the time of an insurance for nominal claim is absolutely high, and the cost is also very high, because what happens, say some car makes with them some accident, someone raises some claim, I'm not telling that anyone is constantly doing malpractice. How many people are doing malpractices? Does 100% people do malpractices? The answer is simply no. So just if some of the claim, maybe 50 to 60% of the claim who are honest people, so if it can be settled by some images automatically, by seeing the images and doing some processing on the car's damages and what would be the estimated cost of it, it reduces a huge effort of sending some person to check visually or in person to see what really happens. Same thing happens for the transmission and distribution businesses also, where people can, where just say suppose someone has installed some meter, maybe smart meter. I will take the use case later. So someone is doing something, installing something, some utility sector, be it gas pipeline or water line or any plumbing work, anything happen. So what will happen that people normally take some time to send another person to check that whether it's been installed properly or not. So this is something a loss for be it startup, be it medium level, or be it very, high business entrepreneurs. Third one is the most cost effective one. Execute the machine in an optimum operating condition. To the best I can remember, maybe 6, 7 years back. I mean, there are lots of tips were given on the boards to how to use your car in a city while you are driving the car in a city. Just one of the example is that if you need to stop for more than 2 minutes in a signal, it's preferable to switch off the. I mean, you can. Switch off the start of the. Engine so that it can save some fuel. If you are cooking something in pressure cooker, it saves your some of your gases. I have seen at least in Kolkata lots of such posters and banners I've seen across the city where such tips, fuel tips were used. Now we think of that now I have a machine. I want to operate it in optimum operating condition. Now, even if I move for any industries, you can think of any industries, any plants where if we can run it on an optimum sequence, just think of it that in terms of management, I can say that any latency between two steps, if there is any latency between execution of two consecutive steps is there, it's a loss for the organization. Just think of whenever, just forget about everything. Just think of whenever someone is building a house. So what happens? They're wasting a lot of time. Normally, poor people, because say someone is using some bricks and someone is bringing it. So sometimes it finds that there is no brick at all, and he needs to wait for that. It's a loss in terms of a big organization. Now, just make it a large scale. Just think it in the very large scale. What happens? Say suppose there is a automated conveyor based system is there where assemblies are happening. Now say suppose one particular path is taking huge time, so that the next one is not getting cannot be executed. It's a wastage of time, and it's a loss of loss of what I can say in the production system. So recommend of an optimum, sorry, it's not visible, optimum operating condition. And second one is that explanation of the possible failure. That if it is not executed in this manner, it will generate that much loss. So you see that what is the basic motivation of using AI in industry? I already covered in the first slide itself. So you can see in the right hand side, what is the basic motivation? It will increase the revenue, it will increase the profitability, it will reduce the maintenance cost, and it will reduce the turnaround time. Simply, these are the four key mantra of any startup to any large organizations, why we should use AI. Now, AI opportunity ambition. The topic was that why, how it can be used for the startups or any, entrepreneurs, why they need to AI. So whenever I'm talking about AI opportunities, you have to think it in two directions. Means from our business, wearing the hat of a business person, I can say AI can be applied in two cases. One is the everyday AI, where every day, whatever we are doing, it's a huge repetitive work we are doing. And if we can use AI at the end of the month, we can find, say suppose every day it is reducing. I mean, you know that our working hours is normally 8 to 9 hours, not more than that in a office. So if it can save 1 hour of our time every day, you see, in a month of 22 working days, it becomes how much? It becomes 22 hours. 22 hours means almost 3 days time. And in a year, it becomes 3 into 12 means 36 working days, which means almost 1 month extra, 1 man month effort we are extra getting out of by using AI. So it enhances the productivity by enabling human to work faster and 1 minute faster and more efficiently at the things you already do. Means we are doing something, we want to use AI so that our everyday's effective working hour increases. One example, what I was talking about before, is the reduction of the maintenance cost is something like that, or reduction of the turnaround time is something like that. But the second one is interesting. It's a game-changing AI. Here, the volume is not that much, but enhances the creativity by either enabling you to create results via new products and services or through new core capabilities. The best example, possibly game-changing AI, is that ChatGPT. That everyone started to use this, and it's a huge business. It is a game-changing one. So, AI opportunity ambitions for the leaders are coming from two parts. One is that AI opportunity for everyday, use it in everyday, and second one is a something game changing, which can change the work and lifestyle of any person. It's a big one. Now, where to use this AI? There is a trade-offs is there. Each development approach comes with trade-offs between benefits and risk. Means whenever you are or working in your own startup, or you are thinking of, running it, starting your own, flowing your own startup ideas, you have to think that what are the benefits and what are the risks. Two things, we have to go for a trade-off. Definitely everything have certain benefits, and whatever ideas is coming, it incurs into some risk. So ideally, where we should do, ideally it should be everything is benefit, there is no risk. But in life, it never comes, only benefits is coming and no risks are there. It never comes. The other way is also true, that not only that every time risk is only coming and then no benefit. We have to make a trade-off with. And the key factors that influence these trade-offs are, first one is the cost. Embedded applications and embedding model APIs are the least expensive of the AI deployment options. So where to use AI? Where to use AI? Whenever there are different ways of applying your AI into your own new startups or the new businesses. So first one is that embedded applications and embedding model APIs are the least expensive options of the AI deployment. So I'll tell you about one such use case where we have done it. So embedded applications, how we have done it, and I'll show you that use case because it's already in production also. But it will start in the time slot of 350 onwards. Okay. So next one is the building model from scratch would be the most expensive. Second important point is that building a model from scratch would be the most expensive, and which is a major problem of many of the I can say the academics people are, some of the research scholars who are starting their PhDs or something. Most of the time I have seen that they think that if I can start writing from scratch, it will be the best one. But it is not a suggested one because it is the most expensive one. I can tell you about one such initiative. I cannot take the name of the organization, who thought that they can build their own large language model, and they started to build their, own large language model without using any of this OpenAI or anything. What happens that to they have to stop it within 6 months, and the person who gives this idea needs to be laid off because of his stupid ideas only. Now, in between them, starting everything from scratch or embedding some API based calls, the cost may vary widely, especially with fine tuning. Fine tuning plays an important role whenever you are trying to solve or address any particular problem. What will happen that you need to fine tune it for your applications. Now, let me give you one quick example that we tried to build one system solutions for our embedded one solutions with that genetic, that is a system who is used for the surveillance and the surveillance camera and all these use cases. Genetic is a organization who is providing that. I tried to make an API based solution integrated within the genetic where we need to identify that whether any perimeter intrusion happens or not. Now, we realize that for the open source code, whatever is available, it cannot segregate between two things. One, human versus monkey. You know that particularly North India and western part of India, there are lots of monkeys are there. So whenever some monkey is jumping over the perimeters, it is always generating an alert like perimeter intrusion, perimeter intrusion. Second interesting thing is that that most of the office premises or the factories are always surrounded by some big roads, and the roads are sometimes very busy because that always one basic condition for any company to set up is that there should be a good transportation because raw materials needs to be come from there. So what happens, that there are certain trees are there. So whenever some trucks or cars are passing by with the headlight of the car, the shadow of the trees is coming over the fence, and it seems to be a perimeter intrusion. So whatever the system has been deployed, we need to specially fine tune it, for which costs are high when updating models with billions of parameters. Now, if the number of parameters to be tuned is less, the cost is low. If the number of parameters is very high, the cost is becoming very high. So again, I'm coming back to the main point. What is the trade-off? Trade-off is the cost. For the cost, we have to see that three factors are there. Ideally, it should be embedded applications and never should be building something from scratch, but sometimes it is required. And in between means whatever is the in between way, there the cost varies because of the complex, depending on the complexity of the problem and the problem statement itself. Now, coming for the organizational and domain knowledge, that is the most important factor. Suppose someone built some AI solutions, being a startup, someone built a AI solution for road safety and security of Kolkata. Now, it is not possible to take the same solution to London because, other than London, anywhere, maybe New York or Washington, D.C., it's not possible to take it, the same solution there because that in London and in Kolkata or anywhere in India, it's a left-hand drive. It's a right-hand drive. The cars are going to the left, always keeping to the left. On the other hand, whoever has this experience, you all know that whenever you travel to some cities like some cities in US, Canada, or maybe some of the European countries like Switzerland or Russia, so you can find that it's a left-hand driving and cars are always keeping to the right. So what will happen? The same solution, what is the track deviation in Kolkata or London, is the perfect route for the other way. Now, I'm telling you another use case. Whatever I recently faced one problem, the PPE kit detection. This PPE kit detection is an interesting problem where we have to check that everyone who is entering into the premises are wearing the PPE kit properly or not. Now you see that whenever I'm deploying it for for a solar plant versus whenever I'm deploying the same solution to the cement plant, there is a huge domain knowledge understanding was required. Another use case, another interesting thing is that organizational mindset. Organization every organization have their own values. So the requirement of Middle East, requirement of Europe, requirement of USA, geography wise, it's totally different. And it is also varies large from organization to organization. And improving the accuracy requires organizations to bring domain and use case specificity through data retrieval, fine tuning, or building your own. Means everything from scratch is absolutely time consuming and not suggested. On the other hand, fine tuning or building your own for particular one which can capture your own domain expertise is absolutely important. Just think of the business of mine. So there are certain drone-based solutions are available which can do that. I mean, mine inspection. But whenever I'm coming for some mine business of within India, within Adani Group, it also uses certain different rules. Just very simply, who knows that? I mean, who heard about that? That from drone and leader, drone mounted leader, we can compute the volume of whatever the amount of coal has been mined and everything. But the requirement comes that for mine, there is no way any requirement other than that is there. So whatever was working absolutely properly in one of our natural resources site, maybe the, I mean, you can think of it Talavera or Parsa. We have deployed it in Talavera and Parsa mine. On the other hand, whenever we are taking the same thing to the port of Mundra, they are telling that why you are not considering the carpet. Means they are not dumping everything on the ground. They are putting some, I mean, because these are something different material, not coal and something. So they are using some carpet and we have to discard the area of the carpet so that we can get the actual volume. So this domain knowledge and the organization knowledge plays the most important role for customizing it and for making the product better. Moving to the next slide, depending on how it is trained, AI reliability now is the big question comes that whether the proposed solution itself is a reliable one or not. So the question comes that whether what is AI reliability? One minute. AI reliability is that depending on how it is trained, all AI may be vulnerable to some degree of. Means how it is trained, AI model may be vulnerable. So suppose you have deployed one solution with absolutely secured environment. Now, I don't know whether you are aware of it or not, that most of the sensors are prepared by Siemens. Now, the sensor acquisition device is not yours. You are working on some data, on some model file that's based on our historical data, built one model. But maybe the Siemens or the GE sensor, whatever you are deployed in one of your plant, itself is vulnerable. Someone can attack it. And if someone forges the data, means manipulates the data there, everything is gone. The reliability of the AI is totally gone. Next, factual inaccuracies or partially true outputs that are wrong on important details. Factual inaccuracies or partially true outputs. That's another big problem. So I can give you one side some example. Say suppose you are building an optical character recognition system which can recognize the numbers accurately. Okay. So suppose you built a system which works with 90% plus accuracy and maybe 95% plus accuracy at the character level. Means it can recognize out of 100, 95 characters it can recognize absolutely perfectly. So out of 100, how many such mistakes may happen? Only 5 characters are not recognized properly. Now, you know, these 5 characters may spend over 5 words, and there are, you know, just for example, you think that every character is of 5 letter. That's why how many words would be there? 20 words. Okay. I tested it on 100 characters. 100 characters means 20 words are there. Now that 5 characters which are recognizing wrongly coming from 5 different words. So how many words are recognized correctly? 20 minus 5 is equal to 15. Now you see the character level recognition accuracy is 95%, but your word level accuracy comes as 75%. Because out of 20, 5 are wrong, 15 are only correct. So only 75% accuracy you get in word level accuracy. This is absolutely important whenever I'm thinking to find out the PIN code from any postal automation system. What is the a postal index number? Or maybe the meter reading. Whenever I'm trying to read the meter, using some OCR, I want to read some numbers from the screen. If it is any single character is missing, it's a big blunder. So suppose the number is 6053 and it recognizes that 5053, it's 1,000, error amount is 1,000, means 1/6, means almost 84% accuracy it becomes. You can understand how degraded and how much loss can incur out of it. Third one is the hallucinations of the fabricated output. That's the biggest problem of the Gen AI and the Chat GPTs, hallucinations. I don't know whether you have ever tried to ask Chat GPT to write a technical paper for you for your publications or not. If you ask Chat GPT to write a paper for you, I experienced it that it generated a reference section which is absolutely hallucination to one. Means in real world there is no such paper is available. How it worked, it identified the authors who are working in domain absolutely correctly, but they identified some paper titles also in the domain absolutely correctly, but whenever, and also it listed the conference or journals in this particular area correctly. So all these three, means identification of the journal or conference, identification of the paper title, and identification of the authors, everything works with 100% accuracy. But whenever it is doing this mix and match, say X's paper, um, the paper A titled by X is published in journal 1, and the Y is the author of paper B, which is published in journal 2. And if it does, there are a huge amount of possible combinations is possible. And if it is done, you can understand that what is the hallucination and what would be the impact of the reviewer's comment it might be. Fourth one is very important factor is the outdated information due to knowledge cutoffs in the training data. Whoever have used ChatGPT or something, or LLM, any LLM OpenAI's model, you can see that the last training happened on September 2024. Just think the other way. Say suppose you can travel 5 years back. You are sitting in something like that, April 2020, and the cutoff date of training was September 2019. There was no single information of COVID-19, which started in the month of mainly November, December. No information was there, no possibility. And you asked that, is it possible to, to further, further increase of the lockdown? The answer would be absolutely no, because the training was done on outdated information due to knowledge cutoffs in the training data. Just think that you want to make in a startup, you want to make a price prediction model or maybe the share price prediction model. No one, no one was aware that it is, and the last model training happened in the month of September. Just think that no one knows that on 20th of January, Trump has been selected, his information is not there. So how much impact it will it will have on the economic scenario or the socio-economic scenario in future. That's an absolutely big problem of using Gen AI for the industries. And the last one is the biased information in the training data resulting in the biased outputs. We suffered a lot for the manufacturing industries. If you want to make a real system, you can find that, in manufacturing, whenever you are getting some real data, some code available in the maybe UC Berkeley or any website, you can get a very well balanced data set where 50% data set is coming from the success scenario, 50% data set is coming from the failure. Now you deploy some sensors and you are capturing your data regularly. What will happen? It will happen nothing but that uh, it result in something that biased output will come, that most of the time in the real data, means 99 to 99.5% time the machine is working properly. No one allows their machine to run with 50% failure to get a to collect a good amount of data for machine learning. So what will happen? It will result into the biased outputs, means junk in, junk out. AI privacy is another big problem for the AI industry in future. Sharing user information with third parties without prior notice, including vendors or service providers, affiliates, and other users. Suppose you want to you want to make a custom LLM, large language model, as a startup, you want to make it, and you are trying to upload your own business data into the Google Cloud, or maybe the Azure, Microsoft Azure Cloud, or maybe the Amazon Cloud. What will happen? Some of your trade secrets, some of your business secret may went outside, which will be in turn used in future for the training purposes, which may be used by your competitor in future. Because some of the conditions are there where you are allowing the customer or the cloud provider to use your own data. Next, processing, identification, or de-identifiable data. Particularly in the case of healthcare, this is a big problem for using AI in healthcare. Suppose I have done some anonymization properly, but because of the GDPR criteria, I need to do it. But again, this anonymization, how it is done, is also certain rule based. So if someone writes some reverse engineering code to re-decrypt it or de-identify it, your all privacy data gone. You know that particularly for the diseases like HIV or the AIDS, it is absolutely secrecy should be maintained. Otherwise, it's a social curse can come. We are no way possible to ensure privacy for those type of patients. If I want to use AI more usefully in these industries. Next, training with re-identified data. That's the same thing. Processing and training is almost same. It's the using the real life impact once in production. So I'm using something that is for the training, another for the prediction purpose. Fourth one is the sensitive or personal data being unintentionally leaked. You all ever that all our other information, you never tried to intended to use it, but somehow you leaked it. Just think of your mobile applications. Whenever I am using any of my mobile application, it asks me to share your access to gallery. My gallery may have some absolutely my private information or private images. I'm giving access to it. Otherwise, it will not work. Just think of this Teams or the WhatsApp, what we very frequently use for our collaborative discussion purpose every day. We are giving them access to get access for our personal data. Even in your Google Chrome or anywhere, if you can go to the browser, it normally listens. It is always, listening that whatever you are speaking, it try to decrypt it, and then it try to recommend you accordingly. You can deliberately you can go to the settings of your Chrome or somewhere browser, and you can switch it off. Switch it off, that never listen type of things you can make. Otherwise, definitely all of you have witnessed that how AI works nowadays. That always the mobile's microphone is on. It records what you are speaking. It is analyzing what you are talking about, and it is recommending you through your Facebook or Google account the same thing. Just for example, who are using Instagram, Facebook, or Google, you must have seen that. Suppose yesterday we had a discussion. Maybe for we have a discussion. Say we are planning a trip for Shimla or Kulu Manali. And next day you will get that from Ixigo, from Make My Trip, you will get that attractive hotel offers from particular hotels in this Kulu, Manali or Shimla. Last one, proprietary, sensitive or confidential information entered as prompts or for data retrieval could become part of the knowledge base used output for other users. You are trying to make your prompt engineering very effective one. Means what is prompt engineering? You are writing your prompt so that you can your ChatGPT returns you the best output, possible output. It can generate it. Whenever you are training or you are doing it repeatedly, you are unwillingly you are giving some sensitive and confidential information. I can give you an example. So suppose you want to identify whether there is a duplicate in the bills or something, and for identifying that, you try to find that what are the bill amounts where no GST has been paid. It is giving you the secret information that certain vendors are there who are not paying that GST. That information is unknowingly leaked to the cloud, and it is used for the further training. When some of the other user is going to use it, it will disclose that there are certain vendors who are not using GST properly. I'm going to the next slide now. So AI explainability is another challenge because AI solutions are unpredictable, unverifiable, and unaccountable. The big question I faced very recently uh, regarding that unverifiable, I'm coming to that, unpredictable. Say suppose one product we have made in our Adani group is that pricing intelligence. We are telling that um, the cement price uh, would of India would be that much in the month of June or July. Now, I mean, how can I verify it? Is it possible to verify really? I'm telling that, say, suppose that much rainfall will occur. There is no way to verify right now that whether it's accurate or not. And something is that unaccountable, where we are not taking the responsibility or accountability of the solutions. Next comes the AI security. Personal or sensitive information stored by an AI model being accessed by the hackers. So this is a big problem whenever I'm building some model. I'm using some of the information. Say suppose I want to make a system automated alert for if for my home security. So I have deployed my cameras. I built some model. Someone did not access anything, but they accessed the model file you built, and from there all the information of your home may be lost by that time. Hackers using prompts to manipulate large language model give away information it should not. That's another big problem. And one of our neighboring countries is playing a very important role so that in the large language model, you are getting a wrong information. And another is that you are using OpenAI's ChatGPT is fine, but suppose someone prepared some LLM, which is a malware for you, and or the ransomware codes are integrated into the LLM, so that whenever you are running it, these viruses are automatically installed there, and it's a security threat for your systems. Why I'm talking that much about generative AI in most of the time while I was discussing in the first half of my presentation. The reason is that whenever I'm going to the technical predictions, trend predictions by the Gartner is something like that. This is generative AI and this is all other AI applications. Let me go to the exact numbers now, because again, I repeat that my topic was that how startups and the new business initiatives should use AI in their industries. So here comes that, I have given the link of that, from where I got the data also. It is from the generative AI realities, measuring and quantifying the business results. So you can find that here question is that which business functions have adopted or intend to invest in some form of generative AI solutions. Percentage of respondents. 42% of the customer facing functions, 31% of IT functions are returning to it. Now, whoever the customer facing functions like customer service, marketing, and sales, they are the most predominant users of generative AI. On the other hand, in the IT, for the software development team, the ticketing, particularly, you all aware that how ticketing happens, that some failure occurs, someone raises some ticket, it goes to some higher level, and then if it is not resolved by certain time, escalated to the even higher level. So this is something the others, finance, HR, and the legal. So they are the two least users of the generative AI. Why I'm telling generative AI mostly, because I mean it's a report from Gartner, and I'm not at all hiding that I'm giving it my own record. So I'm taking it from Gartner and I'm quoting that, I mean mentioning it. This a copied from Gartner. This report is the Gartner's report, not my one. I'll conclude my first half here. I missed my timeline, so I mean explain a bit less amount of use cases in the final. So this is the final thing. We are going to start up, make a new startup. If you are not interested in startup, you are from the industry, not from the industry, you are from the academia, then you are guiding, you are not, means, you know that nowadays in the NAC credentials, there are lots of credits are given for the startups and the entrepreneurship. You are mentoring your students, may not be. Then even if you are not an entrepreneur, you are not running your own startup, you are guiding your students for doing their research problems, or even you yourself wants to do some research problem. What is the, I mean, I can say that what is the list of that priority list for the process prioritization use cases in AI? So you can see here the axis is the business value and this is the feasibility. So business value should be high and the feasibility should be high, something where you can get the business impact highest. That's why possibly you can see the prioritization comes the text generation and second one is the image generation. I'll show you one use case of this text generation and image generation in during my presentation to, I mean, our use cases, whatever I have done as a techno-functional head of computer vision in Adani AI Labs. I'll explain some of it. Now you see, this is the quadrant. What is this quadrant all about? Where feasibility is medium as well as the business value is also medium. So here lies 3, 4, 5, 6. These are mostly predominant there. What is 3? Code generation. I was listening something from the Motorola's, I mean, business houses, I mean, who are Motorola driven businesses. They are now trying to reduce their time for code debugging. And something for the code generations also, they're trying to run something codes generations. I can tell you one such use case may be something that, I mean, one such solution that is available also, that if you make some, I mean, graphics user interfaces by drawing and pulling something, means by drag and drop of certain boxes, you are making some GUI or the front end very properly. Automatically, its corresponding Angular, React, or JS code is being generated. Fourth one comes the summarization. Summarization plays the most important role, and possibly everyone have seen nowadays that with Teams and others, Copilot and everything has been installed. I mean, most of the I mean organizations are installing it. Why it is used? So one toughest thing, I mean, particularly in any meetings, who are, I mean, playing a bit role in the in administrative service of your organization, you know that taking the minutes of meeting is a big problem. So now how we are doing it, that we are recording the entire session, doing some transcription using recording using done. Then you are using AI for transcribe it to English and then using summarizer to generate the summarization. Fifth important fact is the audio generation. And possibly that's the reason why Amitabh Bachchan to Saruk Khan, everyone given their, I mean, their something statement to the court that if their voice unknowingly, without taking their permission, something is being used which generates their, I mean, which seems to be their voice, it might be a deep fake also. Next was the contract analysis. This is absolutely important everywhere it is happening, because legal people, whenever some contracts are happening, they are writing in absolutely cryptic language. The lawyers and the legal people write this absolutely cryptic language. Who have had some experience on it, you can understand it's absolutely very difficult to understand what has been written there. Now, whenever some agreement happens, just new in your startup with something other organization, or maybe your with your customer and you, whatever the agreement has been signed. So what are the legal contracts? For that, contract analyzer, it, I mean, identifies it the legal things, and it translates into your own language. Now let me come that these are the other use cases you can see. So these are the some top use cases that, I mean, I have explained. Now it comes that align use cases to organizations AI ambitions. This is very important. Second, instill discipline against choosing the flashiest demo or being manipulated by vendors. That is very common things nowadays, that output can be manipulated. I can remember that one of some such same demo I have seen, where which is trying to measure the blood pressure, which measures the blood pressure. They have made some sensors in a, I mean, I'm not taking the names. In some company, they prepare some sensor or some AI applications which can, from your, I mean, mobile images or something, it can measure your heart rate and everything very properly, blood pressure very accurately. So what they did, manipulated, because they know that most of the people have a, I mean, have a some blood pressure like uh, 120 cross 80. You know that the systolic is that and diastolic is the 80 and 120. So what they did, they did some manipulations, that bandpass filter nearby 80 to 90 and another from 120 to 130. But I, being a very high pressure patient, I know that my one never comes below 90 and never the upper one never comes below 150. So when I went, I saw it's my one is something 120 cross 80, and I asked you that please show me with others who have some low pressure. And I realized that it's something manipulative output, though it's a very flashiest demo. And with that, I reached absolutely at 3 p.m. So I have to stop here. Uh, just for your understanding, I mean, this is a bigger picture of AI. Now, I stop sharing for a while. And if you have any question, you can, I believe, I suggest you, or I request you to park it aside for a while. I want to come with the demos first, I mean, some real solutions first, and then I'll show you, I mean, something. I'll take the questions from the 3:15 onwards. Okay. So now let me come for the products, whatever I have developed, some of the use cases which may be interesting, sounds interesting for you. So in our group, whatever the under development projects means, which is deployed, somehow its development is done. So it is under deployment phase. First one is the smart meter installation quality inspection using computer vision. Why was the last slide the bigger picture of AI was there? Because some people think only generative AI is the AI, but here I'm going to show you the non-generative AI use cases, particularly in the domain of computer vision. So you know that, let me come for the business problem, is that it is expected to build an AI model that can check the flash smart meter installations properly or done or not. So let me give the business justification behind it. Possibly you've heard the news that in India it is now ordered that 10 crores means 10 into 10 means 10 to the power 8, almost 10 to the power 8 smart meters to be installed across India. 10 crores customers are there who are using electricity in India and everywhere, that for each of these houses, the smart meters to be installed. Out of which, Adani Group, my group, got order for 2.5 crores. Now, it is statistically proved that because of the mistake in installing the smart meter, the meter can be damaged. Now, if the meter got damaged, it's a loss for the person, I mean, the organization or the company who are, I mean, installing the smart meters. The cost of one smart meter is nearly 4,000 rupees. Now, you just think that 1% of this 2.5 crores is nothing. I mean, it's a 1% to 5%. Okay. I'm taking very pessimistic number, 1%. 1% of 2.5 crore is nothing but 2.5 lakhs. Now, if you multiply 2.5 lakhs with 4,000, it becomes 10 crore, means 10 crore revenue loss can happen just because of wrong installation. Simply, you can get the number why we need to check the installation is done properly or not. Let me explain you here that here, what are the different meter parts? This part is known as the network interface card, where some network cards are there, and you can see some light is blinking here. Based on which this number is communicated to, installers at the base station. This is the meter body. Meter body has two important, numbers here. This is the green color LED panel where meter reading is being shown, And this is something you can see something is written. This is the meter serial number. And this is known as the terminal cover. Okay, terminal cover should be sealed properly. Now you see that what we need to do, we need to first, what is the process? First, we need to uninstall some old meter, then install the new meter. Suppose in a complex, there are 70 or 80 flats are there. So it's very highly possible that some excess meter and in a day, maybe 5 or 7% of them are to be replaced their old meters by the new meter because if it is, it reduces the cost of travel of the engineer, I mean installers. Now, if it happens that excess when meter is replaced by wise one, it's a big problem. So first of all, you need to check that which meter has been uninstalled, then what was the reading, so that the new meter should be reset with this particular reading now. Now that is the use case, but we thought that is that much use case is there. But when we started deploying it in some of the states in India, we found that now why it is required, because I told that 1% itself is a big number. So how to be monitored that next day, normally whenever the installation is done, next day some persons randomly selects 10 to 15% houses and they come and they check that whether the meter is installed properly or not. Now you see this cost of this particular person or the inspector is very high, and it can check only 15 to 10 to 15% houses only. Now think of the other way. Say someone captures the images and at the back end someone checks it in the evening. But again, that big number is not possible for someone to check it. Otherwise, it's the same cost of, I mean, allowing, I mean, I mean, I can say that by deploying more human resource to check them in manual in the back end. So what will happen? That it can also reaches only 50 to 60%. That's why whatever the solution, I mean, I was discussing it, my first part is that what we built is nothing but a mobile application based solution. Mobile software development kit is recognizing these numbers and it is communicating these numbers to the cloud in, in turn. So it's a fog deployment where that all these numbers you can see here, the rectangles are drawn. This C0 something, this number and this numbers is recognized in mobile and this is communicated. It also checks whether the seals are proper or not. And based on that, it is going for a compliance check or not. It is a everyday AI case. On the other hand, it's a use case of something. Oh, sorry. Let me show you the results here. So QC tool deployment in Tirupati sites is there. So you can see here, I told you that is some old meter serial number to be checked. Old meter reading should be taken. New meter reading should be taken, and the new, new meter serial number and new meter reading. Now, I given you the example of the character level and the sentence level accuracy. You see here that when all four means the old meter reading is correct, new meter reading is correct, old meter serial number is correct, new meter serial number is correct, then what happens? Then it's goes for a auto auto pass. What is auto pass? Auto pass means that all fours are passed, so there is no human intervention is required. So when it started in the month of December, you can see the accuracy was something like 10 to 15%. And where we reached at the end of the month is the 412025. Actually, in the last 1 month, from second to fourth, you can see we reached 70% accuracy for the auto approvals. No human intervention is required, and this radar chart shows over time how it travels. And you can see that the new metered images are absolutely good quality. That's why somewhere we reaches more than 90% accuracy in last a few days. Here also for the so the meter serial number, also for the meter reading, it is reaching almost 100% accuracy, means 95% plus we are getting. But old meters are always creating problem because of the dust, because
Sir,
of yes.
sir, are you presenting something?
Can't you see it?
No, sir, your share. I can't see
Just wait.
the your sharing slide.
Sorry. Now we can see it.
Yes, 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 sir. Thank you.
Oh, I was presenting it before also. Sorry. Let me. Okay, let me explain the results again. Then now I believe you can see it. Okay. So, I was presenting all through the time. Sorry. Sometimes it was, I dropped it somewhere. So now you can see the results. What I was talking about, that auto pass means all four parameters: old meter serial number, old meter reading, new meter serial number, new meter reading, all passed. So you can see 70% are going without any without any manual intervention is required. So you see that I told that at most 30 to 40% can be human validation is required. So you can see that altogether 70% no human intervention is at all required. Now again, for the new meter serial number reaches 95% accuracy, only 5% is to be manually validated, whether it's a problem of AI or it is the problem of somehow the ground truth, means whoever entered the data, there is a mistake is there. So you can see that total effort, human effort, which was required 100%, is now we have accomplished, because 70% is auto approved. Rest 30% can be manual back end, it can be checked. On the other hand, for this 30% also, you can see that these two cases, the new serial number is not at all required 30%, only 5% involvement. Here also it's coming as a 80%, 85% plus. So altogether, only 10-15% resources required. So we reached 100% compliance, and with half of the resources, and zero manual inspector is required anymore. So the loss because of wrong installation becomes zero. So 10 crore revenue has been realized just by deploying this solution. These are the radar charts which shows for these four parameters. You can see there's the different colors, that this is the all pass, and the parts outside one is the new meter serial number, kilowatt hour means that reading. You can see it touches almost 100% from that day. Particularly 11th, we deployed the last model, and 11th for the new meter. It's coming out. Then you can see the dates also where you have deploying the new models. You can see green is going inside. It reaches the 90% circle on that particular day. And these two also, you can got the great jump here. This one also got the great jump here on that particular day, 112025. So we are slowly increasing the accuracy of our model, and now it reaches already 70% auto passed. We can go for the others also, that auto approval very soon. Let me take you to the next use case, which is a bill of material generation during installation of the utility services. You know that Adani total gas is a now in West Bengal, Kolkata, and other places also, the gas pipelines, gas pipelines are coming now. CNGs that coming are also, the gas pipelines will not, cylinders will be there. So for that case, we need to find that what is the bill of material. Now let me explain you the business justification. In one house, it is just anticipated, and it's somehow verified also, that almost 400 rupees, not much, 400, 300 to 400 rupees is extra claiming happening. Means, what is the bill of material? Its actual bill of material maybe something like 7,000 to 10,000, 8,000 to 10,000, and they are claiming not more, just maybe 300 to 400 rupees. Who have Whoever have installed AC, air conditioners, in your houses, particularly in Kolkata, definitely know that how much struggle you have to do with the installers for measuring the actual copper pipeline, copper meter, means copper pipe, whatever they have. They every time they tell that whatever is given with the AC is not adequate. You need to install some extra copper pipelines because of this installation. So how much is really done is very difficult to find. So you see that for a 10,000 installations, if it is the amount is 300 to 400, normally people ignores it. People cannot have a close look over it. Just 1 minute. Hello? Hello? Just, I'm in a meeting now. Just let me complete it and I'll call you back. Sorry, I believe I'm audible again. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here, what we need to do, we need to check that horizontal pipes and vertical pipes are properly, how much is the length of that. So what we have done, you can see the video now. Did recognizing the number of clamps is being used, uh, how much pipe is there, where, what is the cone, what is the meter. Moves from one room to the other room. Even under occlusion, it measures some of the pipes here, here, clamps. Clamps are identified. It comes to the end almost. Yes. So really, how many clamps are there? How much meter pipe is there? We are measuring it using computer vision now. The last use case I want to show before taking the, going for the question answer session is the cement bag use case, where in it, in this Marwa cement plant of Adani, means you know that now Adani cement maybe of any brand, be it Ambuja or ACC. So in the Marwa Mundwa plant, what happened that we are counting that cement bags in a real-time deployed system. This is you can see that's the dashboard we captured from the dashboard itself. You can see the video. I need to explain what is happening there. I need to, I can have an option to reset it to the number. I reset it also at certain time. Done. I'm going to reset it now. 198 bags will go. It started counting. This is another use case we have done using. And I'll close here with the PPE kit use case. We'll play the video first. You can see, just let me tell you once that if anyone is coming where the red rectangle is coming and blue rectangle is there is good. So anyone with green head and blue rectangle in a jacket part, then only he will be allowed to enter. Otherwise, who is entering will generate an alert on that. I hope you have seen the use cases. There are lots of other use cases also we have. One of them is something like airport. You can also check that you know that Adani owns 7 airports. So this is also deployed in this is Ahmedabad airport. You can find that whenever some EPOS means electronic point of sale is being used and the printout is coming, we have to identify that how many transactions are happening using EPOS. So you can find that, it has been used here. And you can understand that these are all deployed solutions, not a toy or something POC or very good science fiction. What never can be deployed in real system. Some of the industry experts nowadays, I can see that they are getting some science fiction stories, but this is something really deployed. This is one of the retail store in the Ahmedabad foods and beverage stall. You can see there is no print, so it was idle. Whenever EPOS is being used, we are generating it EPOS used, otherwise EPOS idle. It's 8th of November. You can see not more than 2 months old. EPOS Touch. Have you seen it? EPOS Touch. EPOS is not used. Still no printout came. Sometimes they pretend to be using the EPOS, but after certain seconds, yeah, print came. EPOS used, print came, then no print means he has used EPOS for the transaction. Take the printout and hand it over to the customer. So that is something I thought that I explained today, almost in time. It's 3:17 now. I can have another 5-10 minutes quick question answer session now.
Is there any question from the audience?
Yes, sir, I have one question. How should the prompt be designed to handle ambiguous queries from users?
Sir, your mic is muted. Tanushyam sir, your mic is muted.
Oh, sorry. I mean, what is the question? Can you come again?
How should the prompt be designed to handle ambiguous queries from users?
Ambiguous queries from user, how prompt handles.
Yes.
Okay, ambiguous query handling, you know that nowadays safeguard and all these things came nowadays. So ambiguous query handlings are right now it is handled mostly using the safeguard so that hallucination is also minimized. But uh, normally it doesn't return anything. I mean, ideally, I mean, whenever we are using it, so if it is an ambiguous query, we normally request to generate a new prompt or new question because I cannot understand it. I normally handle it like this for a better clarity. Anyone else? Any
Th-
other question?
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir. It is very informative and we have gained a deep understanding of the data analytics and visualizations. And I request to Professor Dr. Dubasi Sharkar sir to say few words about the session.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So first of all, thank you, Dr. Chattopadhyay, for your always
Welcome.
say yes to us, yes to me. So I know you are busy. You are having two back-to-back session with IM.
Yeah,
Still, you needed your support always. And the session I was listening, I could not interact as keeping this in mind that your session will be extended. So some of the questions I have, I'll be interacting with you offline. So,
sure.
like, nonetheless, our sincere thanks and gratitude to you, and we want you to grow, and we want you to extend your support to us always, like you did in the past several years. Thank
Welcome.
you. And you will be happy to know that currently I am at my college, Rampurhat College, attending like the Regional Science Congress.
Oh,
So,
it was in
yes,
Malda, I heard. But this is Rampurhat
no,
also.
actually there are 6 zones. So, zone 3 is taking
Okay.
place.
Great to
Thank
know.
you. Thank you.
Welcome. I believe I can drop up now.
Is there any more questions from the participant? If you have
Yeah,
any
I'm open
question,
to
then
take any
please raise your
questions.
hand. Please raise your hand if you Any question, or you can write in the chat box as well.
Dr. Chattopadhyay, if you kindly share your presentation with me as per your convenience, so that I can share with them too.
Yeah, I'll share you the shareable version one, okay? Because I
Yes,
mean,
yes.
the last part I cannot share, that's that absolutely
Right,
secret
right.
things of the group. So I'll share you the
Yes.
shareable version, definitely.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I guess there is no questions from the participants.
Thank you.
Thank you,
For
sir.
inviting me.
Sir, for
Thank you
your
for the nice
thank
session.
you for your nice presentation as well. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Subrata sir, we may actually stop the recording and you can start again, so that it will be automatically separate one if required.
Yes, sure, sir.
And kindly check if like Mr. Avik Ghosh has joined.